So I wanted to show you the parachute system. So up in the back here, this is where the parachute is, and there's a sort of blow-away cover that covers all this that hasn't been put in yet. And you can see there's straps there. So there's two straps coming from the back here that anchor to the landing gear bolts, which is one of the strongest points on the aircraft. And there's other two straps that are embedded in the roof there. You can kind of see that's them there. They're embedded in the roof, and they have panels that will just basically peel away if the parachute gets deployed. And then they anchor down through the A-pillars all the way down to the bottom of the forward bulkhead. So you're picking up the strongest points of the aircraft for holding that load. So yeah, that's basically how the parachute system works here. It's a GRS system, Galaxy parachute system from the Czech Republic, and it's the same one that they're running in aircraft like the Pipistrel. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good system for us, and hopefully we won't have to find out if it's a good system. So underneath the wing here we have a baggage compartment, and there's a door on either side. I open that up for you and show you. Now, because of prototype, there's a bunch of things going on in here. So this one here has the this side has the fuel filter in here, and this is a marine grade diesel fuel filter. And then we have the main fuel pump in here, which pumps fuel up to the engine. And then this is the pump there that pumps fuel through that heating system. And then here we have this Garmin engine analyzer unit, which basically just right now is just picking up fuel levels and a couple of other different things and displays that on the Garmin avionics. And then this little tube here, this is the rocket exhaust for the parachute. So we're just below where I showed you the parachute, and this is the parachute itself in here. And then you can sort of see through to the other side of the cabin there, and I'll open that up and show you from that side here in a second. Yeah, so there's the parachute there, and this is one of the straps here that's anchored to the gear legs. So gear legs basically here, so the big long bolt and everything, it's basically anchored to that on the back bulkhead. So it's not going to be a problem in terms of giving way if the parachute is deployed. So back on the other side now, with the other baggage door. Open this guy up for you, and you can see, so this one doesn't have anything really on here. There's not much going on in here except for this little controller that I have that handles the pressurization. And again, that's just trying it out. Probably won't be where it lives for production, but it just seemed like a good spot to put it for now. And other than that, down in the bottom here is where we've got the very regular, hoses and stuff coming through, the heater hoses and the AC hoses and the rest of the wiring, and also the battery positive and negative are coming through there. And then you've got your fuel line, so that everything coming from the nose all comes through here, and then ultimately goes through the firewall here into where the engine compartment is. And then up here, this is that pressure sensor I was telling you about for the cabin pressure, and that basically goes up through there, through a fitting going through the back bulkhead into the cabin. And then these straps here, this is the parachute strap on the other side. So there you can see how that's anchored in there. Sort of, there's a big bolt holding that through there, keeping that all in place. So a few more specs on the aircraft. With the engine and setup that we have and the amount of fuel, 125 gallons of fuel, it should have a range of about 3,500 nautical miles. The engine is set up to probably only burn about 7.5 gallons an hour, and it should be able to cruise at 230 knots true at 25,000 feet, with the pressurization on. So yeah, that's basically kind of the performance that we're looking for, and we'll see how that plays out. So with respect to flight testing and being able to get some good video and stuff later on, I'll show you a couple of things that I've done here. So I've got mounting points that I've put, like this one here, all over the aircraft, and you can just mount a camera mount on that. So that's a hard point in behind there, a little aluminum block that just mounts the camera point. So I can put a camera on here and sort of position it any which way I want. So I can have sort of, this view, or looking out here, or looking back, or whatever, or looking forward. And so let me show you the other ones that I have for that. There's one out here on the wing, and you can see this camera mount is actually mounted here right now, so it's nice and rigid. And you just sort of screw your camera on there as a regular 1/4-20, and then lock it in with this little guy, so it doesn't come off, you know. And then of course the cameras I'm using are Sony action cameras, so you can be remotely activated. And then I've got another mount right here, so I can get the underwing view there. And when the cameras are running, you can actually monitor them from in the cabin. So I can put a camera here and be monitoring this for first flights and first gear tests and stuff, and actually watch from in the cabin to see if the gear is retracting in real time, and you know, if it looks like it's all sorted out. So I've got that mount there, and right now I've just got one of these just sitting on here that I was using before, but that'll come off of there when the cowling's on. And I've got a mount that's in the top of the intake scoop, right towards the front, so that one can be pointed in any different direction, you know, to get a different view, like looking out, you know, over the wing like that, or looking forward, or looking back, or whatever you need. And then I also have another one. I think I put one out on this swing. Yeah, there's one on this swing here, so I can get one from either side there. And where else? Oh, there's one underneath the belly as well. So right under there, you can kind of just see the hole. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a hole for it there. And something I didn't mention, so these are the antennas that I have on here. Let's see if I can show it to you a bit better. These are just the comm antennas here, just some basic ones. And then this is the one for the wireless hotspot, so we have internet access to the aircraft for testing. And then the other one over there is the little shorty, that's for the transponder. So, and we also have a nav antenna that's embedded into the foreplane as well. So yeah, I'm going to have to be able to capture a bunch of data when we're testing, and so that'll be good. And yeah, I can also mount cameras in the cabin in various different places, as I've done just with the taxi testing that I've been doing up till now. So yeah, I'm going to plan to have plenty of different video through flight testing to show you guys, which will be fun. Anyway, so that's kind of what I plan for video capture. So that's a pretty general overview of the whole aircraft, and you know, how it was constructed and all the different systems in there. Obviously there's a lot more detail that I can't sort of reveal in these shorter videos, and a lot of people have asked sort of, you know, what's the plan from here. So going forward, and I'll try to keep this brief, the goal right now is to get the prototype flying, obviously, and then prove it out and just see if there's any problems, and if there's small problems, resolve them. If they're big problems, then, you know, sit back and figure out, you know, solutions for them, or if they're worth solving or whatever. So anyway, that's all going to come once I get these parts back, and you know, then I'll be able to get the flight testing underway. And I have a couple of test pilots that I'm talking to right now, that I'll be talking to up at Oshkosh as well, that hopefully will be on board to do the test flying. But once I have the parts back in and I get the engine all sorted out and the prop working and everything like that, I'll be taxi testing it out there again on the airport here, and just making sure everything's all working fine and not having any sort of issues that I can fix ahead of the test pilots coming out. And then we'll go from there. And then moving forward after that, yeah, if everything's successful, you know, the plan is to try and take it into production. I've got some ideas for how that's going to look like. Up till now, it's been, you know, just planning on producing a kit that everybody can, you know, come and spend a few weeks putting in their 51% to do this. But we may do a variation on that. I don't want to sort of go into too much detail. It really all depends upon getting the prototype flying first and having that successful, and then we'll go from there. And everybody who's sitting on a deposit that they've put in there, you know, thanks for sticking with the program. And that it's taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, and that's just how it is, you know. Fixing these problems, oftentimes, you know, in a position where I am right now, where I'm literally waiting on parts to be machined, and you know, 6 weeks to get something done, and then you test it and it doesn't work, and then it's another 6 weeks. So anyway, we just push through it, and if you're new to the channel, start following along, subscribe here, and you know, it's going to be pretty exciting going forward now to watch the flight testing happen, and you know, once I get everything sorted out here, and hopefully we'll get a first flight in and everything will be looking good, and then we'll be able to test all the systems out, and then we'll be able to hopefully, you know, start figuring out exactly what production is going to look like, so everybody can get one of these things at a reasonable price. So thanks for watching this little series, and we'll see you in the next video.